It is time to close out the round of 16. Welcome back to WCS Jönköping. We are here in beautiful Sweden as we approach the final best of 5 of the day. Terran versus Zerg action coming your way. I'm Nathanius, joined on the desk by my 2 best European friends, Rotterdam and a Muslim. I couldn't possibly guess what you guys might want to talk about as we start this panel segment.
I've got a couple things that I would like to mention. Now, we can talk a little bit about that previous series. You know, all jokes aside, we're obviously having a lot of fun here. I mean, StarCraft tournaments are meant to be fun. We're enjoying ourselves. This is the game we love. But a series like that does make me a little bit sad because Sorov is such a damn good player. We know that he's capable of so much more. And I don't want to take anything away from Neeb because Neeb obviously just put on a masterclass of PvZ. But that still leaves me with a bad taste in my mouth. It's like Sorov is capable of so much more.
You look at a match like that between 2 players that are obviously very close in skill, even though Sorov doesn't have the same results as Neeb by any means, but he's been around for such a long time, placing top 4 as far back as NASL 2011 or something. Yep. And when you see that these type of players clash, where it is a guy that with pure raw mechanics that you know can play a very, very good standard Zerg, and he just got absolutely destroyed by Neeb.
Getting dumpstered like that is painful. I think we have a really cool match coming up. The players are just about ready to get into the game. Smix is over in the tournament player area, and we've got a special feeling about this one, right?
I do. I'm very excited to see this match, particularly after speaking with Special himself. He says he's feeling pretty good. He predicts it'll either be a 3-0 or 3-1. What do you guys think about that?
He's bringing the confidence.
Yeah, he's feeling very, very confident, especially after recently at WCS Austin, he was able to make it to the top 4. At the time, that was his best result, and I'm sure he wants to keep that going for this event. But of course, facing him is Bly on fire. Bly definitely wants to do well at this event. I'm sure he's feeling the pressure because earlier on in this year, Katowice and both Katowice and Austin weren't the best. So definitely hoping for a better result here, but a very special major stands in his way.
Indeed, he does. Special, known for kind of being the guy that practices the top Korean builds. He looks up to them, but he has some very special strategies as well. We've seen a lot of those mech builds coming up against Zerg in the last few months, but Bly, well, he's no stranger to the madness.
I mean, a major is always, to me, it feels like it's like our little 4 in TY, right? Like, that's kind of what major is. We know he's a big fan of TY, the Korean Terran player, and you know that whatever TY does, major is going to do it at least to some degree, or he will take some things out of it. But Bly, on the other end, is such an interesting character to me, because Bly has been around since forever. Even played Warcraft 3 semi-competitively as well, made the move, had ups and downs, and it really felt at the beginning of 2016, finally Bly made that final step, right, to the upper echelon of European. Instead of being like sub-tier, he was top-tier, got that 2nd place at DreamHack Leipzig, and I really thought Bly was there to stay. But it felt at one point things were not going his way anymore, and he fell back to his old tricks where it became a little bit more gimmicky again. While he showed back then that it doesn't have to be gimmicky. He doesn't have to be aggressive to compete with these guys. But the moment things didn't go his way anymore, I felt like he relied too much on the gimmicks again, and in a way that it kind of set him back a little bit in his skill level. I don't know how you see it, Ben.
You're totally right. And I mean, when you are kind of a gimmicky player, you can get away with that in a lot of online events because they always think like, is he going to do that again? And the answer most of the time is nobody always does. But when it comes to these LAN results, you have to have some sort of backbone, some consistency, some solid to you. One thing that does surprise me about these 2, though, if you ask me like, who's the big favorite here? I'd say Special like any day of the week. But their score is actually in Bly's favor.
Yeah, it's very close. It's like 9 and 8 in maps, and a couple of them go back.
But still, I wouldn't have imagined that.
But I think it's worth mentioning as well, when you take a look at these 2 players, they've never played against each other in an offline event. All of those matches have been online, and obviously offline events, especially round of 16, WCS, this is a much bigger magnitude than any of those series.
That's one big thing about Special as well, though. For the longest time, he's been kind of inconsistent with even arriving to LANs, and just recently he's been doing really well. We've all known him as this very, very solid foreign Terran, especially one of the absolute best
he's
TvZs.
usually then a torchbearer, you know.
Massively so. It's just recently that he's really backed it up by being consistent. The career training's obviously done him exceptionally well. He even hangs out with some of his idols such as TY and totally mimics their builds, but also their crispness.
Yep, and it is an awesome match. I know you guys are very stoked for us to get into this one. It's our last best of 5 of the night. We're going to jump into Bly versus Special.
G'day guys, the two Australian commentators back in charge, Maynard and Pig. We're here to close off day 2, and what a way to do it. It is going to be a pretty explosive series, probably literally and figuratively, between Special and Bly. Pig, what are your thoughts on this one?
This is going to be a big match. Of course, Special had an amazing performance at WCS Austin earlier in this year. Bly, on the other hand, we haven't seen him too much recently in these big offline WCS events. He's the wild card. He's the crazy guy. He's had some big surprising results in recent months in online events. Can he translate it, though, into a success at LAN?
Well, let's talk about him here. In the top left, from Team Expert, from the Ukraine, this is Bly. Handsome devil, very shapely.
Real charmer.
And at the bottom right, hailing from Mexico, this is Special. We get some music, special privilege.
Yeah, he deserves that music. He's been training hard in Korea. A disciple of TY, as Muslim was pointing out there in the pre-game analysis. Definitely someone who idolizes him on quite another level. But really, just is so good at executing those TY builds. And
Absolutely.
he's going to be going for a gas first, is Special. So most likely going to be opening up with one of these Hellion openings. Meanwhile, Bly has gone pool first into hatchery, but has his gas quite delayed.
Yeah, getting a bit of a greedy boy here. But pull first does mean that you can get those lings out a little bit early, and even slow lings can do a bit of damage in the early game.
Absolutely.
But as it stands, I mean, when you look at the series as a whole, you don't expect too many standard ZVTs from Bly. He's the kind of guy that's always been a little bit weird, a little bit aggressive, a little bit cheeky. But you know, those matchups have generally been against non-Terrans.
Yeah, I mean, we've seen this as one of his hardest matchups for many years now. I remember, I mean, it might have been 2015 now. It feels like a long time ago. Bly being interviewed, I think it was at like an IEM Cologne, and him just saying, you know, Zerg vs Terran is such a hard matchup for him because it is a little bit harder to make these cheeky builds happen. Terran is so good at defending all-ins against Zerg if they know their opponent likes to do that and they scout very well. But yeah, he's going to start out with a cheeky 6 Zerglings. They're trying to hide around the edge of the map, but Special, knowing the opponent he's up against, I don't think he even SCV scouted, and yet he's hunting for these Zerglings, but hasn't quite found them just yet.
Yeah, he missed the lings. Now, Bly's going to wait a little bit here. I don't think he's going to wait for speed. There's going to be a little bit too long of a wait, but he is looking to do some damage here on this low ground CC, perhaps even delay its building.
He's going to spot the Reaper coming back, and he turns around because he's got that Overlord spotting. So Special playing very safe here. Is giving up his ability to put any pressure on, but against Bly, this was the right decision. Looks like he's done his homework on his opponent. He said, yeah, there's a good chance you're going to try and slow down that command center. Let's just keep the Reaper at home and hold on tight.
It is going to be a Hellion opening here. Well spotted there by Bly. Sees it with the Overlord. Sees that there's a Starport going down as well. So there's a few threatening things here with the Stellion, with this tech and the Hellion opening here. You know, there could be a Hellion drop play. There could be a fast armory. So he needs to be on the ball here. Sentient Aya's been the kind of map where, I mean, I don't know if we're going to see it this game, but there's a really strong like Hellbat Cyclone timing that a lot of Terrans seem to want to do against Zerg on this map. And that is something that, of course, TY likes to do as well. This tumor getting a little bit damaged, doesn't quite kill it though. The creep spread will continue here for Bly for the most part as he gets that third hatchery down.
And there's going to be a medevac on the way for Special. Going to be opening up with a Hellion drop and could always follow that up with a Hellbat timing if he feels it's a good idea. Of course, Liberators, Banshees, Vikings, all other options that come from behind this. Some really good flexible pressure that he's going to be able to apply on to Bly. And of course, he's being very conservative with his Hellions. He doesn't want to let a Ling run by in. Those 6 Zerglings still hiding up at that third, and those Overlords are just watching for the moment those Hellions leave.
They sure are, and it's actually going to be a Banshee with Cloak follow-up here for Special, so this is pretty cool. This is something that's that some Terrans opt to do. It's a bit of a stylistic thing. It can actually just get shut down completely if a Zerg has spores. Oh, getting that Reaper there. And just to finish my point, Bly is getting spores back at home. These Lings getting into the natural. The 2 Hellions should be able to get rid of them, but they get 1 SCV, maybe 2 for their trouble. Nah, not going to get 2.
Very safe here from Special, leaving his rallying Hellions at home, was ready for that, but Bly on top of that Hellion drop isn't going to let that really do much. Ooh, Major with some fancy micros, going to try and force his way in, but ooh, pretty good control from Bly as well, getting a lot of damage on those Hellions. They are going to have to pick up and leave. Just 1 Hellion going down for about 5 or 6 Zerglings, not too bad a trade. But the worker count not too high for
my.
Bly right now. Only 35 workers.
And there's that armory pig. We're going to be seeing some Hellbats. Good.
There is a Roaches on the way for Bly. Hasn't
But there's
really
Banshees.
shown what he wants to do just yet. Might just be a Ravager Lingle, and he does have a second gas mining now. But yeah, you pointed that out. There's Banshees. They're going to be fantastic against this. The question is, can Bly hide it? Can he get across the map without the Banshees spotting it? I mean, seeing no drones on this third has already got to be a bit of a tell. Special is going to have to realize that Bly is up to something. He's seen Roaches, and he's got to start realizing there is definitely a big threat here from Bly.
Yeah, and obviously the Banshees are pretty good offensively, but they're great defensively as well. We know there's a second one out for Special possibly, and there's a third one on the way as well. Oh, I think the Banshee in the bottom actually just missed these links coming by, but the Hellions should be able to bat them away with this wall in. And the thing that he really needs to be worried about is a Roach Ravager follow-up. And he is actually getting the mech upgrades, so I think we're going to start seeing Cyclones possibly soon, or even just upgraded Hellbats might be able to seal the deal here with his Banshee helping out a ton from the air.
This is just madness. Special so tight with his macro, his build order. He's actually raiding the main base, forcing all the drones out of there, while roasting everything at the third base. Oh, no!
Oh, drone stack!
Wow, those drones going back to mining a little bit too early, even more going down. Bly is already down 12 workers right now, and he's got no attack timing at all.
Yeah,
Special
I mean,
just running a master class here.
what does Bly do at this point? He's taking very critical damage from this timing with the Hellbats from Special. And I mean, sometimes you see this the Cyclone follow-up here, but he may not even need it. He does have another reactor on, actually I think there will be. He is going to get a second factory with reactor, and it makes a ton of sense with these upgrades to go for that because they shred through the Zerg units on the ground. So
Really cool. Some nice mech play out of Special on this map. 3 Cyclones building at a time. This is going to be a very nice way of cleaning this up. Third command center is finished. We'll be floating that down momentarily. Bly, I mean, how does he get back into this game? He's trying to catch back up in workers, but with such high-tech units out for Special and a worker advantage and triple mule dropping, I mean, the lead for Special is just massive.
absolutely. Cannot be stressed enough how far ahead he is right now. Queen's getting taken down here by the Banshees. In fact, they actually managed to transfuse and keep themselves alive for now. They are reasonably high on energy. There's a few more transfuses left here for Bly to keep them alive. But he's found himself a little bit of an annoying position here where there's no Spore Crawler, there's no detection, and he's going to start wailing on this Roach Warren.
Gonna start taking that down, being very annoying. There is an Oversteer on the way, but the Queen's actually moving down here a little bit too early. Bly is in so much trouble right now, and great pullback from Special. Just gonna cancel that 4th hatchery, and look at this attack moving across the map.
The Cyclones and the Hellbats. This is the attack I was talking about here in Ascension to Ire. It is so strong, and you get so quick upgrades. They are +1 upgraded, by the way, and their DPS is insane.
4 Roaches aren't going to stop that. Oh no, Bly just does not have the numbers. He's way down in supply. That hatchery's hit points
It evaporates.
disappear.
Yeah, man, what a great timing here from Special. And Bly being knocked to the Stone Age with his economy. He's just down on 2 bases with 59 drones, nowhere to go. And these Banshees still alive. All 3 Banshees still alive in this game, wailing on the Queens in the main. Meanwhile, this push does not look stoppable.
Massive gains here for Special, pushing his way in, is going to be closing out this first game in a very decisive fashion. And really, Bly just never had a chance to even do anything that cheeky. From the very first 6 Zergling run by, Special was on point, leaving that Reaper at home. He blocked it. He came in with his pressure, so careful, so precise. Bly just did not have the answer. And Special takes a very quick and convincing Game 1 victory.
Great game there from Special. That just looked one-sided as hell, dude. I mean, we look at the series and we think, oh, you know, you got to favor Special. He's got everything going for him right now. Bly's a little bit while between drinks for Bly. And Special had such a commanding performance at WCS Austin. He got all the way into the very, very deep stages of that tournament. So nearly made the grand finals, almost career-defining for Special. But Bly, I think he didn't even make it out of groups. It was a little bit unfortunate.
Yeah, you know, Bly having a bit of a rough start here as well. He's going to need to change it up a little bit, and I can imagine there's a lot of powerful moves that you could bring out here. Of course, Nidus Worms, an option. Proxy Hatch is an option. Yep. These are the sort of things that I think of when I think Bly going up against Special and how he could possibly win this series. I don't think it's just sitting back and defending, not with how that game turned out. I mean, Special was not in his face. He wasn't pressuring him right from the start, but when he did finally start pressuring with that Hellion drop And then the double prong pressure, I mean, it just got out of control so quickly.
I think if I was Bly's coach, I mean, I'm not a very good player and I'm not a very good coach, but if I was his coach, I'd be saying, Bly, get cheeky. Get weird.
Just give him a wink.
Yeah.
Tap him on the shoulder.
Get cheeky, get weird, Bly. Turn his head around. You need to get this guy into an uncomfortable position because we see how strong Major is when he doesn't get touched.
Yeah.
Like, he will just take over.
Oh, yeah.
He is such a strong mechanical player. He wants the mid to late game. He is just too strong in that sort of scenario. And Bly, of course, we know him for his aggression, for his creative play. You know, he's not exactly a Tilo or anything like that, but he does get pretty interesting in his series for the most part. And I think it's about time to start whipping it out. He's down one map of the series. He does still have 2 maps to go, if it, you know, at least. And I'd like to see him try and get creative here and really upset the rhythm of Special.
Definitely something we've been talking about a lot this tournament is that idea of upsetting your opponent's rhythm, throwing them off their pace. It's something which is so important in StarCraft in general, but especially at these big live events where the pressure's on the line, the money's on the line, the WCS points are all on the line here.
I think there's actually a Pig Daily about rhythm, but that aside, at the bottom right here, Front Team Expert, this is Bly.
Let's hope he has been watching those videos.
Yeah, they're very informative.
Yeah, they're not too bad.
The teacher's all right. He looks better than he talks. But in the top left here, from Mexico, this is Special.
That's all right. Here with the next patch, you can actually buy a little in-game package, and you'll have Nathaniel's voice over all of those. So it can work out pretty well.
That's right, Twitch chat. I'm sure you're not sick of it by now.
Right, Abyssal Reef. It's going to be an exciting map. Now, this, similar to the last map, a map where it's a little bit hard to spot big Ling run by. It's something where if you're playing against someone like True, you're going to see those Lings come across. And it's kind of hard to watch for everything with Hellions. We've seen a lot of games where Zergs distract the Terran with a little bit of the Zergling run by, sneak out a whole bunch of roaches, run them around the edge of the map, and the Terrans kind of poking around with their Hellions saying, everything looks normal. Oh my god, there's 6 Ravages at my base. So,
it's happened to Terrans before, and it will happen again. Will it happen in the series, though? It looks like just single gas expand here for Special so far. It's looking like a Reaper opening.
It's going to be a Special just really sticking to what he's comfortable with. And I mean, this is such a flexible opening, the Reaper Hellion. And you can do so many things off this gas first. It just gets your tech up so early. And there's something to do with those Hellions. And if they arrive at a quick enough timing, it just makes everything uncomfortable for the Zerg. You know, it's very hard for them to get their creep spread out. We saw creep tumors going down and being cancelled and almost dying in that last game. Bly being a little bit distracted by that. And this allows the Terran to keep the Zerg in check, to really keep an eye on everything that's going on. So definitely something Special is going to keep up with. And this time around, actually going for that SCV scout. So his Reaper doesn't need to stay at home. It can go across the map knowing that Bly is up on that hatchery first, and he can actually start to put the pressure on right from the get-go.
Yeah, nice little move there. In fact, he's trying to delay this 3rd hatchery from Bly, if that is indeed Bly's plan. He sent the drone down a little bit early. He's still spending his minerals. You know, he's making drone and getting his queens up. But this Reaper can actually stop this or kill the drone. No, it's going to send an extractor and keep itself alive. And, a bunker block here, mana block here from Special. Don't see that every day. So usually it's like a supply depot and engineering bay, but
nice thing about the bunker, I guess, is you can sell it. So even if you accidentally let it finish, like you don't need to look back at it.
That is true. You can just wait for the hit points to be really, really low. And it looks like he actually just cancelled creating that and go back home. Well, these 2 Lings actually could cancel, but delay the CC.
So
nice
close.
move from Bly.
Really good from Bly to realize with that Reaper on his side of the map, the Zerglings could just sneak right out, and actually on this short rush distance on Abyssal Reef, just barely cancelling, or delaying, I should say, that command center. And now he's going to have to wait for that Reaper to come all the way home. This is the sort of cheeky stuff which Bly needs to make happen. He's got to get under Special skin here and do something to throw him off his game.
Pretty quick Roach Warren here from Bly as well. He's getting link speed as well. Not getting into the main, just closes the front door really, really quickly. The Lings get taken out. Hellion and Reaper still alive. Not a very heavy hitting force, but it's definitely a force that he can send across the map to try and look for any kind of damage or even just, take some map control away from the Zerg for a little while here. But we do see 4 Roaches already, 5 Roaches already on the way here for Bly. And a Banshee follow-up again from Special means that, if I'm a Terran and I'm going Banshees, I'm not too afraid of Roaches for the most part.
Not at all. Of course, you do need to still start wailing on those Roaches early enough if you want to stop any sort of big all-in attack.
You got to keep them at home, yeah.
I mean, Bly's only on 26 workers, and This is what Special wants to scout. He wants to see these units popping out. He hasn't really spotted the absolute telltale signs just yet. Now he does.
Yeah, there we go.
Sees the roaches coming out. They managed to snipe down one alien. And he's going to have to just run back. Actually, still building Hellions, not building Cyclones. Just going to rely on the Banshees, interestingly enough.
Showing a lot of confidence here in the ability to hold this just with the Hellions and the Banshees. And maybe he can, but I mean, I'd definitely freak out and start getting some Cyclones immediately. Bly does not stop putting his foot on the gas when he decides to go. And here come the Lings into that natural, going to shred a couple SCVs. The Hellions going to do great against the Lings, but the Roaches are another story.
He's got one speed, one pace, and it is go. Bly is just forcing his way in right now, but these Hellions have killed all the Zerglings. They've kept themselves alive. Now the SCV is going to come off that line. Only 4 Roaches remaining. Those SCVs doing a fantastic job of buffering. The Banshee and Hellions are going to clean this all up, and Special there with a textbook hold. Loses 2 SCVs and a couple of Hellions for an absolute horde of Zerg units.
I am just in awe of how good Special looks in this matchup. He really reacted to that as efficiently as you possibly can. And there's just you can see that during this attack, Bly was droning pretty heavily behind it. So he's not down and out yet. In fact, he's got a nice little worker lead and a 3rd hatchery to boot. So it's not too bad for Bly, but it looks like, again, we're going to have that Hellbat follow-up.
And this is that scary moment. Yeah, sure, as Bly, you've managed to defend and then re-drone, but where's your army right now? What have you got to respond to these Banshees? Yeah, you got an Overseer, but he doesn't have a lot of extra Queens. He's only now rebuilding those Roaches, and he needs to get them in position because there's Hellions coming in up here.
Yeah, in a few seconds, they're going to be Hellbats. The Roaches do find the Hellions, or a Roach finds the Hellions. Banshee's still... This is just looking like the last game. The Banshees being annoying for Bly. Meanwhile, the Queens are just dealing with the Banshees while the Roaches are trying to hold the Hellions off themselves. But you almost need to consolidate your forces a little bit better to try and deal with this two-prong attack. We see the Cyclone follow up again. I'm surprised not to see +1 on the armory yet. Special can absolutely afford it.
Hellion run by. The Roaches were in position this time, though. Only a couple of drones going to go down here. Good defense by Bly. Only losing 5 workers there. Still got that small worker lead. He's spreading his creep out. Bly in a much better position than he was in that past game. Banshees are going to find these cheeky Roaches as well. Going to snipe down a few of those. Special just all over this game right now while he starts up that mech transition behind this.
He's so active with his units. Like they, you know, even though he's playing mech, well, I guess with a little bit of Sky Terran just to be a little bit of flavor. He is just always active with his units, doing stuff around the map with those Banshees. You know, leaving them at home doesn't help you at all. And he's doing a great job in this map, just picking off Roaches. He's been reading Bly like a book for the most part. And Bly's still droning very heavily, which is going to be a little bit dangerous, like you said. I get very nervous with the Zerg player when he's droning like this, when there's a very strong mech timing about to be hit.
Yeah, definitely could still commit. Of course, this time around, a lot of the Hellions have gone down.
That is true.
So he may choose to be a little bit more defensive with those Cyclones. And, I mean, Bly, yeah, he's droning hard. He's got a nice little worker advantage, but that's very normal for Zerg vs. Terran. In fact, if you don't have a worker advantage, it's very bad due to the income bonus those mules give. And what is the one thing we haven't seen out of Bly yet? Upgrades. We haven't seen any upgrades for his units right now.
He's going to Hive, and I don't even know if we have an Evo chamber here. We have the 2 Hellions coming into the 3rd base looking for drone kills. Looks like they might get a couple. They do get a barbecue there on 2 drones.
I do love the fast Hive, opening up Viper Tech, maybe Broodlord Tech as well. But, you know, you do need some upgrades for your units eventually as well. This is a good one.
Yeah, nice little run by here by Bly. Some fresh mules here as well to deal with. Kills one of them. Going to kill another mule, actually, targeting them down. And 6 SCVs as well going down. That's a nice little move there from Bly. He is going to lose these Roaches there.
Does get some damage done. Roach Speed has finished. Burrow on the way as well. The Banshees just continuing to be so annoying. Special just not letting them die all game.
Oh, no way. 9 Swarm Hosts on the way here for Bly.
Ooh.
Now we're getting interesting. This is the Bly we know and love.
Swarm Host Viper might be the name of the day. Of course, is a bit low on gas. We'll need some more drones on that 4th base, but Bly here gonna show us how he wants to play against mech. And it is a Hydra Den on the way. Roach Hydra Viper Swarm Host, one of my favorite ways to watch a Zerg play against mech. And actually, Thors are on the way for Special right now.
Yeah, when you go for this sort of thing, you drop the 3. I'm surprised that we actually don't have more factories than that. You just get a ton of production on 3 bases, and you can actually make a whale of a mech army, and it's going to be very heavily upgraded. He's got +1 on the way, +2 on the way for the mech armies to be hitting very, very hard. Not getting armor or anything. He doesn't have a second armory, but yeah, he's going to...
You've got your Abyssal Reef comparison words there. A whale of an army, I see, Maynard.
That was not deliberate. I assure you I'm not that clever.
Those Swarmos being forced to throw a couple Locusts a bit early. A little bit of a pain there for Bly. He'd love to be throwing those over on the other side of the map. But now he's just trying to get that creep spread out. And Special just continuing to find little bits of damage all over the place with these Hellions and Banshees. Really showing us how to play mech in this era of StarCraft 2.
Looks like the Hellions going to get caught here by the Roaches, so a lot of them are going to go down. They don't have Blue Flame or anything like that, so 2 Hellions aren't super dangerous. He's going to get some drones. Looks like Bly's actually positioning his Swarm hosts to get those Locusts into the front natural here of Special, and Special not reacting. Ooh, there we go.
Going to get some nice damage there, forcing a lot of lost mining time, 5 SCV kills, and a couple of depots to boot. Not bad. Even
also lift as well, wow. And they're burrowed, so...
Natural predator of Swarm hosts, though.
Yeah, that's right. There's
he
the scan.
realizes he's going to drop that scan, just going to start blasting down those Swarm hosts. 1 will die, a 2nd will fall, and he's probably going to have to burrow these somewhere in the middle of the map. Vipers are on the way now as well for Bly. Still not a single upgrade in sight. Luckily for him, Special does not have any armor upgrades, so he will still be able to take down these mech units. A double 4 drop, but Hydras are coming in on top of that, and they might actually do pretty decently here, those Thors having to be maneuvered around. And nice
get over here!
Not quite able to finish it off just yet, but hey, he's actually getting cornered right now. Both of those Thors looking like they are going to be going down. The Hydra's starting to focus down those Medivacs.
Oh, the Medivac's so low, but it escapes with a Thor.
Oh my god, and he cheekily drops it, takes out the Viper, picks back up, and does get out.
Sick moves here from Special. Both those Medivacs. Oh, that one gets picked off. Hydra's managing to catch them both. Whoa, nice pickups there for Bly. Just on the edge of the screen, the Hydralists get the damage done, and he forced the lift off the 4th base as well. And Bly's starting to press the issue here. The Roaches, the Vipers, and the Hydralists getting up into the natural.
Who needs upgrades when you can get your Vipers and Swarmos out this fast? Bly showing that just prioritizing getting out these tech units that make it so hard for the mech player is such a better way to play it. And he's already going up to Spy, preparing for that Broodlord transition. I absolutely love the way Bly is playing this game. Major, Special, he's lost a lot of ground, and now he is in a lot of trouble. He's got +3 weapons on the way, but this 4th base is in trouble, Maynard.
Yeah, I completely agree with you. I mean, the tanks here are sieged up, so they are going to kill all these Locusts, but actually managed to stop from taking a lot of damage there. The DPS of that mech army shredded those Locusts. It's going up in the natural again. The Viper's going to do a few Scorpion get over here. Taking those siege tanks, actually blinding, clouding a couple of them here, but the Vikings are a little bit tough to deal with. There's a small choke here, and the Hydralists won't be able to trade very well against these siege tanks if they get a little bit too close.
This is a bit of a crazy battle right now. It's like this is a great concave for Bly, but he's in tank range right now. There's even a tank on the main ramp that is just shelling on his units, and Bly being quite inefficient. But so far up in supply, and these are very expendable units, so even though he loses a lot there, every bit of damage he gets done makes it so hard for Special to hang on against those Swarm hosts.
And the Locusts are coming back, less mech units here. There goes that tank, and he's going to start wailing on this planetary as well. The Locust will go down. 14 SCVs have gone down for this attack of the natural, and Bly gets cleaned up. But you're absolutely right, Pig. There goes that army supply. He's making 15 more Hydralisks. And Hydralisk with the Vipers are an incredible good combination. They synergize incredibly well against the mech army.
As those Vipers get out, that's more and more efficiency. Anything he can do to keep Special down at this supply count, it just keeps Bly in a huge advantage. Even though he doesn't have an insane work account, I mean, he's getting upgrades now. He's getting a great Aspire. Bly is getting all of the tools that he needs to just close this game out. And meanwhile, Special desperately trying to catch up in tanks and Hellions. Only has a couple Vikings out. Really needs to just get up enough of that mech army that he can hang on. But I don't know if Bly's going to give him the time.
Locust Wave coming in again, forcing a pull off the mineral line here for Special. Special scans and sees the Hydralisk count here. He knows where the main army of Bly is, and is retreating under the creep down. There's a big move out from Special. He feels like with +3 attack, this mech army may not be able to be stopped. And he may be right here. That's a very, very, very powerful army for Special.
Oh, and I don't know. Only now do I think he actually spots that army moving out. It's going to get the siege up on the 4th base of Bly. Bly's Hydras and Vipers making their way backwards. But those Vikings are going to be very important for slowing down those Vipers and sniping them off as they come in to abduct the units. The The tanks are all sieged up right now. Bly having to evacuate the base. He's coming in with the Hydras and Vipers. He's going for the engage on the right-hand side. Nice blinding clouds on some of those siege tanks. He's going to need to drop some more, though. Does land another blinding cloud there. A lot of tanks still in the back, shelling down on those forces, though.
Man.
And Special just massacres that army.
And while that was going down, Bly gets his Broodlords out, but a couple Blue Flame Hellions went through and just got a huge drone transfer. So a ton of drones gone down during this attack.
Even loses one Broodlord to the Vikings, and his hand is being shown. Oh, another Broodlord's going to go down. Special, anything he can do to get rid of these Broodlords is massive. Oh no, so many Broodlords falling just to this small number of Vikings, and this really was Bly's trump card. Not only is the card being shown, but it's being torn in half by Special, and now just 3 Broodlords and a couple of Hydras left. This is not the way Bly wanted it to go. However, cornering the last of the tanks. Special supply is not great, but he's building Vikings. He's replacing his siege tanks. He may be able to get the answer up to this.
Yeah, he's going to shave off the rest of Special's army attacking force here. So Bly's got a good army lead. A lot of it's in Swarm Hosts and Hydralisks, which aren't incredible on their own, but with Vipers can get the job done. These have just been doing free damage every time the Locust Waves come out.
Ooh, and he's even focused firing the
focusing
SCVs. That's so important. That's where he gets the guaranteed damage. Look at that killed SCV count. 18 workers going down. And the Planetary took that much damage. The next wave of Locusts is going to do so much, it might even get that base. Bly still up 60 supply. Even after losing those Broodlords, he's managed to replace his supply with a lot of Hydralisks, a few more Vipers, and he's intercepting these Hellion run-bys. Major Special trying desperately to buy time for himself.
Ooh.
And once again catches a couple Broodlords in the middle of the map. Special just on fire right now.
Huge pickoffs there. Bly not out of it yet, though. His army supply is more than double that of Special. And he has not incredible upgrades, but a ton of units here. Special's army is +3 attack. That's a massively heavy-hitting army, but just doesn't have a huge supply of it. More SCVs going down as well, knocking him down to 50 workers in total. Bly is very low in economy as well. 55 drones at this point in the game. Not super impressive.
He enjoys these scrappy games, though. This is where Bly is in his element. He can always play this situation, and you'll notice that as long as he doesn't let those Hellion run-bys into his base, Special doesn't really have a way to put pressure on Bly. He's just being turtled up, and these Locust Waves just finding damage time and again. And once more, they are going to be launching in there. There is a whole bunch of tanks, Vikings, and the Planetary this time, so not going to get as much damage done this wave, but even then, gets a Mule or two, forces Special to be in that one defensive location. Bly has redroned to 70 workers, Maynard.
Yeah.
He is in such a powerful position.
Absolutely. Hasn't been trying to upgrade his units at all. He's been spending his money very well, actually. And he's getting those Broodlords back up. So the Broodlord's an incredibly effective unit, especially against mech. But they do need help against those Vikings. And that is going to be the Hydralisk for the most part here. And maybe he wants to throw in a couple Corruptors, but it really is up to the Hydralisks to deal with the Vikings. Just Vipers to do Ducts and Hydralisks to finish them off. Coming around here to try and maybe do a little bit of a poke and prod here at this barracks.
Good choice there. Just get rid of a little bit of that scouting. These Locusts going to try and take out that siege tank on the south side, but not quite able to get it. That siege tank killing a couple of those Hydralisks, sending them floating to the top of the ocean.
This one Hydralisk actually looks like it probably will kill this barracks, or at least put it in the burning range so it'll just burn down itself. I was going to say, surprised Special hasn't dropped a scan or anything like that or tried to route these Swarm Hosts a lot earlier. And he has been consolidating his forces to defend against the main army of Bly, which is here. Those Vipers are full of energy and they're ready to go, man.
Oh, here we go. Oh, but he's actually spending all of his energy on parasitic bombs. And Special here, not splitting perfectly, but decently enough. A few of those Vikings are still alive, but Bly just jumps on top of the army, blinding clouds on top of everything. Hydras, Broodlords, Vipers, and Corruptors just going ham right now. Special counterattacks, takes out a base. He's trying to use the mass repair to hold on with this Planetary, but he's just got so little support. He's got no Vikings left, only 3 on the left-hand side.
Yeah, and the Vikings do come forward, but the Broodlord's still large and in charge here, not really being adulted by these Vikings. This little mech force is doing a surprising amount of damage here for Special. But Bly will be able to clean it up eventually.
Hydras are going to come in on this, a lot of them falling, but eventually those siege tanks will be going down. Of course, we've got +3 mech up against just 1 range and melee upgrades, +2 range and +1 flyer attacks is finally on the way. Bly starting to invest in those upgrades little by little somehow Special is hanging on in this game, but it really is just by his fingernails.
Yeah.
I think just a little bit of a shove from Bly, and Special's going to be out. I mean, his bases are running very low. Little bits of damage like this are kind of keeping him in it, but for how much longer, Maynard? I really think Bly has just played this game out very well.
He's playing out of his mind here. I mean, one small thing to criticize is that he has 2 Evo chambers and he absolutely can afford armor, and maybe that's, you know, the plus one armor could make all the difference here, but as it stands, he is in a pretty commanding position without those upgrades being prioritized.
Yeah, melee, very important for those broodlings to pick away at the mech units as well. So all of these going to be very powerful. And of course, remember, after chasing off those swarm hosts, there are actually 0 swarm hosts left on the map. And that was a big part of what was making things so hard for Special. I think Bly at this point is just going to focus on a one single Hydra, Broodlord, Viper, all in push. But his Broodlords, once again, out in the open on their own. Bly.
So dangerous.
Okay, guys, if you have Broodlord as children, just do not ever let Bly take care of them, because he will just leave them in the middle of the park on their own and say, hey, kids, go play. He'll drive off to the mall and come back 4 hours later and hope that they're still there. These Broodlords are not being babysat whatsoever.
Oh man, Hydra's taking a big shelling from those siege tanks, but they do manage to catch them and take a lot of them out. The Vikings here actually getting pulled, a Thor getting pulled. Down it goes.
Ooh, the siege tanks on the high ground shelling down on these Hydras. He keeps engaging this planetary, but it's not working out for Bly. Keeps losing a lot of units on this, and suddenly Special is back up at 145 supply. He's only a couple minutes away from actually being back in this game. Bly has the pressure on. He knows that Ravens are on the way. He knows that this Viking count is growing. He needs to get more damage done. He needs to keep that going. Yes, he's got great creep spread, but I mean, he's got to be afraid of Special's late game. Special, he played mech here. He knew he was confident in the late game. Yes, he took a lot of damage earlier, but Bly has to respect how powerful Special's late game micro will be.
And when you get super late game mech, what better than the Raven? The spellcasting unit for the Terran getting made here, and also Raven energy being researched for Special to make sure the Ravens are even more effective. And he's even getting +1 attack for their ship weapons as well.
Got that recalibrated explosives on the way as well, so that you cannot run from those Seeker missiles.
Yeah.
If you're off creep and those missiles go down, you're pretty much gonna have them land. All you can do is spread. Hellbat's finding damage. Those Broodlords, once again, a stray child gets picked up and thrown into a van of a strange man there. And we are going to be seeing these siege tanks and Hellbats pushing down in the south side of the map. Hydra's coming in the Corruptors as well. But
wow.
oh no, they changed direction. Bly being a little bit thrown off there. Broodlords coming in. They're going to throw down some Broodlings on that army. But so many workers have gone down, both on the right-hand side as well as in that bottom base. Bly's drone count knocked back down to 60, and he might even lose that base in the top right. Special going into full multitask mode here.
And he is so strong with multitask, but will it be enough? Bly managing to clean up this little force of mech units. Again, this hatchery is still in trouble, but he does clean it up eventually. It's quite low, so you know he has to keep an eye on that hatchery, but I mean, if he can't keep an eye on his Broodlords, has to keep an eye on this hatchery.
Yeah, I mean, he's got
Broodlords are even more important than the hatchery, if you ask me.
Oh, they're still out in the open on their own with no anti-air. It's making me freak out. But honestly, this is the situation where I don't think Special did enough with that 3-pronged counterattack. He killed 20 drones, he damaged the hatchery, but really, Bly just bounced back from it. He rebuilt those drones, he's still got the Broodlords, Vipers, and Hydras alive. And Special, I mean, he got a few Ravens out, but how is he ever going to secure a new base? Even this, getting more drones. I mean, this is efficient trading, but it's efficient trading from a position where he needs amazing trading.
Oh, man, these parasitic bombs shredding through that Viking count. Actually, abducting a couple of them to pick off with the Hydras as well. Getting Flyer Carapace as well. Still hasn't gotten Carapace for his ground units, by the way.
You know what? Tanks do so much damage. I can kind of understand skipping it. It's one of those things where you're like, oh, do I really want to knock 1 or 2 damage off a 70 damage Arclight cannon? It's like, yeah, probably not really
more
worth
of like
the resources.
I guess you're right. Like it more helps against bio and that sort of thing.
Helps against the Hellbats, and it definitely does increment against things like planetaries, Hellbats, and all that sort of stuff. But definitely something which Bly, I mean, he showed he's not too upgrade focused this game. Took him a long time to get up to that +3 range and +2 melee. But he is there now. He's in a comfortable position, especially after clearing up so many Ravens and Vikings. I mean, Special, he's down low in supply. He's finally trying to secure that base, but I mean, he's still just clinging on. His fingers are running out of steam right now. He's getting very tired. It's going to be that cliffhanger scene. The glove's about to slip off. And I think he may fall off the mountainside in just a moment if Bly doesn't make a big blunder.
Oh, gets a tank here. Nice little pick off there for the Roaches. And he floated over the main, so his income's going to start looking a little bit more healthier, but again, it is very, very, dwarfed by Bly's economy. Which even though Bly doesn't have a ton more workers, he just has more mining bases. Special's been kept back. The creep spread is all at his front door. Every single one of his bases has creep all the way to his front door here. In fact, his production is quite close to the creep highway here of Bly.
Yep, and he's going to start edging forwards. Bly realizes this new base is being taken, and he is not about to let that last for long. Coming in with these Broodlords, picking away at the missile turrets and siege tanks. Vipers and Hydras coming in as well. He's looking for the parasitic bombs. Lands a couple of big ones on those Vikings. A Seeker missile does go down. These Vikings trying to snipe down the Broodlords. One Broodlord will fall, as well as a couple of Overseers. But then the Hydras, Queens, and Vipers can turn around. And
Unfair defense drone not being useful there.
Still, 190 supply to 130. Special's hanging on. He's not dying, but he's kind of dead, I think. This is one of these games. It's like, I don't see any way out of this game. You know, he's got these efficiency-focused energy units he's trying to build up. But Bly has those same units. He's got the Vipers. Combined with the Broodlords and the Corruptors, this is a composition which is not easy to deal with. It's not like you just get one simple answer to this. You can't just build Vikings. You need the Vikings and the Ravens, but then you also need something to deal with the Hydralisks on the ground, and it's just an unanswerable question for Special. He's going to say, if I keep counterattacking, if I keep hanging on, maybe Bly will make a big mistake, but it doesn't look like that's going to happen just yet.
He is doing his best here. He's not going to tap out. Starting a slow turret push here. He's got a sensor tower, and he's trying to lock down Bly's counterattack. This hatchery got very, very low, but the roaches will clean up these Hellbats. Hatchery lives to tell the tale for now. And he's only got 6 Ravens, not a ton of Ravens, but they do help out a little bit. You know, spellcaster units are great, but like you said, there is spellcaster units on the other side for Bly. +1 Carapace. He decided the 150 was finally worth it.
11 Broodlords. Oh, man. There's only 10 Vikings out right now. I mean, there's no Corruptors. For Bly, he's only got the 20 Hydras and the 4 Vipers, so it's not a crazy amount of anti-air. But if he can land parasitic bombs, and if those Hydras ever get underneath the Vikings, they're all just going to disappear.
Floating out the natural now is Special, but where does he put it? Going to try and put it over here, but the Zerg Army's got a thing or two to say about that. Roach is coming in to lead the charge. Looks like Bly has realized that this is where Special is going to be putting his bases. He sees the turrets being built, he sees the tanks moving over, but he decides with the army all the way in the top north side of the map, he's going to send the Broodlords down south.
Ooh, some valuable gas mining being delayed here. There is still 900 gas on one of these guys and 900 on the other as well. So about 1,800 potential gas mining on that base going to be completely denied by these Broodlords. A great move there from Bly.
Kills the Planetary as well. These Roaches getting SCV kills as well here at this new transferred base. It's the natural being taken again. Autotar's clearing up some of the creep here. Oh, that's a sick parasitic bomb there, but nice splits from Special.
Energy for damage, always something that's worth getting there if you are in Bly's shoes. It's all about efficiency for him, and he's realized Viper's the answer to that. 5 more Vipers and even 2 Infestors being added. And your favorite Maynard, there's a little bit of a carapace upgrade going down. Yeah. Oh my gosh, a whole lot of Seeker missiles going down, and they're going to land all over that army. A couple of Broodlords and a whole bunch of Vipers go down there.
Yeah, another Seeker missile could have spelled doom for about 4 or 5 of those Broodlords there, but as it stands, Bly's Brooders will regenerate for the most part. And with these Infestors, all of a sudden this Viking Clown becomes less and less scary with the marry up of Parasitic Bomb as well, so it is pretty scary. He's getting Adrenal as well, with 44 Lings being made. I was about to say, why is he getting Adrenal? It's because he's making a ton of Lings right now, looking like he wants to try and flood them into places where Major's army is not.
Hats off to Major for hanging on this long. He secured that 6th base in the north side. And this is just amazing. I never thought he'd survive this long. He's back up at 165 supply. He's got multiple Ravens, 11 Ravens out with 15 Vikings. Special is actually making a game of this. And I mean, Bly, he's just not finding a way to close it out. And there's 2 ways I see this game going from here. And one of them is Zerglings finding their way into the production and massacring everything. But I think, okay, Special does have a few Hellions there. They're not in Hellbat mode, though, so they're not very tanky. He's going to need to micro them very well to stop those Zerglings. But I definitely think the one way Bly might just suddenly win this game is those Infestors. It's going to be like, okay, if that air army just moves forward onto creep, accidentally gets fungled and parasitic bombed, we will suddenly see it just disappear, and the game will be over. However, if Special can avoid that, scan ahead, not let the spells land on his clumped up air, he very well could work his way back into this game. He's getting dangerously high in supply right now. He's got that 6th base mining. And I mean, he's even got, actually, he's only just started Corvid React to the Raven Energy now. Okay, I guess he got the explosives and the other upgrades, the durable materials and all that, but he forgot about that one for a while. He's going to start that upgrade. So many Ravens out, though, and they're getting so much energy now. This is actually very scary for Bly. I'm not sure what his plan is to finish this game off, but he's going to need to work very hard. He's got the creep spread. He's got most of the bases. He's got so much more money to work with. And in that unit's loss tab, we see it's actually very even, with Bly being only slightly less efficient here.
So Bly is starting to make a bunch of spore crawlers, so it looks like he's going to try and maybe slow push spores a little bit and try and, you know, just use abducts and infestors and that sort of thing to just shave off mech units one at a time. Use energy for kills, like we mentioned before. That's basically what you want to do in the super late game. You don't want to be losing those high supply, high gas, high cost units.
Not at all. Bly's kind of slowing things down a little bit here. He's looking for the right opening. You know, I think Bly is basically just saying, as long as I can mine these 2 bases on the top right and the kind of middle left of the map, he says, if I can mine the gas out on these, and the minerals preferably as well, then I'm in a good position. I don't really need to worry. But here we go. Special still doing some nice Hellbat Siege Tank counterattacks. Probably wants to just get some damage done here. Maybe even clear out supply for more air units potentially. Siege Tank's going to morph on up here. Yeah, I think Special would love to just take out this base in the top right and take it for himself. That distraction on the left-hand side, that attack over there, I think that really was more a distraction than anything else. And he's even going to lure the Hydralisks into their death, which is going to open up an opportunity for him to do more counterattacks. Vipers coming in, Broodlords coming in massive counts. Parasitic bombs landing on the clumped-up air units. Oh no, Special a little bit slow on his splits, and Bly only loses a single Viper to that. All of these air units of Special getting heavily bruised just from a couple of parasitic bombs.
Yeah,
Very
nice
good
move
play
there from Bly. And Special's army very, very bruised here, and it doesn't regen. It is a mechanical army here. Bly's army will be able to start to secure this base a little bit more. This hatchery does go down.
18 Corruptors just popped out, Maynard. 20 Corruptors in total out on the map. I think Bly might be gearing up for one big spread and A-move sort of engagement here, where he just looks to overwhelm Special's air forces. He's got the Viper count, he's got the Broodlord count. And now with the Corruptors as well, definitely does have an opportunity to do that. You're gonna have to see exactly what he's focusing on. He has lost that base on the left-hand side, an important denial for Special, making sure Bly doesn't just mine vastly larger amounts of resources here. And I think Bly's decided it's time. He wants to push in. Once again, a couple of Broodlords out in the open with the Corruptors and Vipers coming in close on their heels. He wants to shove his way in here. Oh, is he going to go for the parasitic bomb? He goes. He lands a great couple of them. One on the Vikings, one on the Ravens. But Special here a little bit better with the splits this time around. And a lot of those Vipers have gone down. Only a couple of Vipers remaining here. A great fungal lands on a few of these Vikings, but a lot of the Ravens and Vikings are still safe in the back. But the base falls. Bly getting the damage done, knocking Special's army down way, way, way far. And the Ravens here, they want to find an angle, but they are so afraid of that fungal parasitic bomb combo.
Now, the economy of Special is in shambles here. He's on 33 SCVs. He's lost mining bases. He doesn't have much income at all. Very, very, very horrible income. This is going to be up to his about 100, just over 100 supply of very well upgraded mech army and air force to be able to deal with what Bly has. And yes, the Ravens are fantastic when there's a ton of them. Yes, they are upgraded. But will it be enough to end this game is the big question here for Special. Fungal going down there on those Hellions. The tanks starting to lead the charge. They are the highest damaging unit here in this army. The Broodlords starting to eat through the tank count. Here come the Vipers and the Corruptors to try and help those Broodlords stay alive.
Ooh, parasitic bomb goes down and a fungal, but only hitting a single Raven each.
Oh, thank God. I was going to say, please don't put that Viper in the middle of that ball of Zerg units, Bly. That's one way to throw this one away, but I mean, it was just one hidden seeker missile, so it wouldn't be the worst thing in the world, but it would hurt.
This is getting down and dirty right here. Special still got a pretty big army, but to overpower Bly right now would be an insane effort. Bly is just very comfortably waiting, biding his time, wants to get that Viper energy back up, and once he's got enough Viper and Infestor energy, he's going to be pushing again, denying these bases. Special is finally floating a command center up here to this north side of the map from his original 4th base location where he rebuilt one. He has an orbital on the left as well, so he can definitely be dropping mules, but His bases are almost completely dry right now.
He's so broke. Really can't replenish much at all. I mean, look at the production tab here for Special. I mean, both players, really. They're not producing a whole lot at all. Bly's been very maxed for a long time here.
Ooh, Seeker missiles going down to the
That's a lot of Seeker missiles. Wow. Oh, my God. Yeah, a lot of the Broodlords go down. Transfusions on a couple of the alive ones. More Hunter Seeker missiles.
Even more landing all over this Air Force. Massive hits from Special. Bly just lost 60 supply and a base and 8 drones in the blink of an eye. His Vipers were still back at home sucking energy. None of them landed the parasitic bombs that they needed to there to punish Special for that move. And Special with a massive win in that engagement, but he's got a lot further to go right now. He has cleared up so much gas. He has 6,000 gas ahead.
7,000 more gas, yeah.
Wow.
That's crazy. And he's just doing it with so little of economy. And I mean, Bly's actually starting to get really dry on his income as well. He's running out of mining bases. He has a few drones over here at this very fresh bases, very, very rich mineral patches. But the other bases, they're getting very, very juiced up.
Yeah, it's all about the gas as the game goes on here. I mean, Zerg's got plenty of minerals. They can build as many Queens and Zerglings as they want, but Queens and Zerglings won't necessarily cut it. They can't really get rid of planetary fortresses. They can't really get rid of Hellions. And the problem here for Special is he's literally only got Hellions and Ravens and this little tank Hellbat Force. Sniping this hatchery is going to be awesome. And I think he's going to have to use auto turrets to deny the base on the right-hand side at the same time, but he needs to keep those siege tanks alive. He cannot lose those tanks. Without those, Bly can just make 100 Zerglings, run on top of his production, and close out the game that way.
Absolutely. He's actually been making a few Hydralisks, has Bly, with the last cap of his supply and getting more Infestors as well. I like the idea of getting more Infestors, more Spellcaster units. The Hydralisks, I don't know. I think the Hydralisk is kind of just there to pick off whatever the Vipers have ducked. So
it's nice to have something, I guess, that can hit ground units in case all the Broodlords go down as well. They are a little bit more multi-purpose, so there is that. Ooh, he's got a Changeling spotting the Ravens, the Vipers. They've seen the Ravens. He's coming forward to drop the parasitic bombs. That Changeling there giving him the vision. And he lands the parasitic bombs all over that air army.
There go the Ravens for Major, for Special. Geez, a lot of the Ravens went down there. 12 have been lost in this game so far. He is still producing more, but again, he is so very broke.
The Broodlords in the open once again. A couple are going to go down, but we've got a lot of Corruptors there. Seeker missiles going to land all over the Corruptors. Maynard. Every Corruptor gone.
I think those Corruptors are gone now, and the air army is going to be Specials for the most part. This hatchery's in a lot of trouble here. Bly. Did he lose too much? Can Special clinch this out with the mech army?
What am I watching right now? Today has just had some of the craziest games. The supply is so close. A 6K mineral bank for Bly, but he just doesn't have any gas. He's still got a little bit coming in. He's got that base back up on the left-hand side of the map, but he doesn't have gas mining there yet. He needs to secure that base desperately.
Yeah, it's so important here. I mean, Bly's put 37.5 minutes into this game, and he doesn't want to lose it now. Special, of course, being very, very patient, very, very methodical with this mech army. He's been playing so well. Bly's parasitic bombs were incredible. The Special's Hunter Seeker missiles were pretty damn good too. Some Hellions with blue flames see this drone line, but the Broodlords here by themselves again, just to make sure that those Hellbats, Hellions go away. Oh, bye-bye hatchery.
Another nice snipe there. Special here, really realizing how immobile this army is. And this is why Bly is building Hydralisks right now. He wants some general purpose units that can just engage these siege tanks whenever they come forward like that. He wants something a little bit more mobile to move around this map. Couple of Broodlords on the left-hand side doing a very good job of defending that as well. Bly, if he can secure these two bases, remember, that is the whole point of contestation right now, because Bly is mining a lot more gas. Special is stuck on that one base in the top center. He's run out of gas on this base. He's got how much gas on these two geysers do we have? We've got 1,100 on that gas geyser, 1,100 the other. That is a total of 2,200. 2,200 gas left for Special. After that, he is broke!
No! Huge parasitic bombs. There goes a ton more Vipers. Oh my god, those Hunter Seeker missiles taking out all of those Broodlords as well. Both players destroying each other's army. Bly left with a bit more in the end, but he really cannot engage this planetary fortress without these Broodlords though, and he lost so many of them.
Shades of no rush 10 games against friends in custom games back in the old days, Maynard. You just trade these massive armies into each other and you land the sickest spells. This is crazy. Somehow, Special with his landed Vikings is going to take this base out. but there's too many good parasitic bombs. Have cleared up all of his Ravens. He's got so few Ravens left. Another Seeker missile goes out. His planetary fortress hanging on for dear life. The Queens with their transfuse are going to add so much efficiency to this composition.
And there we go, Bright. Bly using those free units just to chip away at this planetary fortress. Special getting a little bit low in Raven energy as well. SCV's being pulled off here.
Pull the boys. They're going to get in there. SCVs versus Hydra Broodlord right now. Not an engagement you see every day. A couple of Hellbats trying to run forward. Special has so little to work with. His Vikings are making their way back to this side of the map. They're so far out of position, and Special barely has enough money to repair his planetary. And then as those Vikings come back, Bly is going to pull back. He wants to get a little bit more anti-air up before he goes in with this. Ooh, nice pullback there from Fungal. Special.
It's like he didn't get that Cloud of Vikings fungal. I mean, one big hit to his air army, and that'll be the end for Special. And of course, it's the same for Bly. If he takes another huge couple of Hunter-Seeker missiles to the face, that's going to be it for him too. He doesn't have a ton of money at the moment. He has a little bit more than Special, but... and he has an extra couple bases, but there's not a whole lot of this extra base that Bly's been fighting over so much here in this game for the past few minutes.
This series is just going absolutely insane.
This is game 2, Pig.
Bly just... I mean, he's been up for so long, but Special just refuses to die. He just keeps on using these Ravens, this efficiency, and using the mech efficiency to get it done. And oh, this is that Zergling counterattack that I've been talking about for a long time, where that gets on the production, and Special doesn't really have the money to replace these structures. Oh, more parasitic bombs on the last couple of Ravens. Queens and Spores doing massive damage. It's all or nothing here for Special, but there's way too many Hydras, Queens, and Broodlords there in the back. And even though he gets a few siege tanks set up in a forward position, all of the Ravens go down. There is 4 Hellbats, 5 Vikings, and 5 siege tanks. And that is the grand sum and total of Special's forces right now.
Special put in a valiant effort here on Abyssal Reef. He definitely made Bly sweat a few times, but Bly is going to take this game for sure. He just has way too much army supply. He's got 70 army supply ahead of Special. Special's production's getting nom-nommed by Lings right now, and he's just got a bunch of SCVs. The production is, in fact, being completely destroyed by these Adrenal Lings. And Bly is just biding his time. He's just being careful. If he knew what we knew, he would absolutely just pounce and kill Special right now. He is so far ahead.
After the way this game has gone, I'm not sure how both players are going to react to it, but I got to say Special should really feel a lot of confidence with how long he has survived on this. Think about how much damage those Swarm hosts were doing in the early mid-game, how much damage those parasitic bomb combos did, but he answered with his own Seeker combos all over that Zerg army multiple times.
Yeah, the Ravens are gone now, though.
Yeah.
It's just these siege tanks, these Vikings, and these boys being pulled here for the desperate repairs. There's a couple of ducks, and that's it. GG. Bly winning a game 2, and he's feeling good about that one.
Bly managing to finally close that one out. He had to work for it, though, shaking his head in disbelief at just how long Special hung on in that game and how well he used those Ravens.
When games like that go on, you have to be thinking about the fortitude of these players. I mean, we've had a very long day. This is the last game, the last series of the day as well, the round of 8 being tomorrow. And Bly, I mean, what else can you do but laugh after a game like that? He looks exhausted, man.
I'm sure there's that moment where, you know, I think both players experienced it that game where you're not watching your army for a few seconds. You look back and all of your units are highlighted red and there's this fierce beeping in your headphones and you go, oh my God, there's Seeker missiles. Or in the case of Special here, it was the case of, oh, there's green goo all over my air army and I'm trying to split 26 different air units simultaneously. Both players taking some massive damage to those late game spellcasters, but at the end of it, Bly does tie it up 1-1.
Yeah, we go into game number 3 here in a second. Oh, man. How do you top that? That was a sick game there from Bly and Special. I mean, day 2 of WCS Jönköping, day 1 was great as well, but day 2 has really put on the heat, man. There's been some sick series and some highlight reels are going to be padded here by these games today, for sure. Getting a real treat at these WCS finals, to be honest. They like Austin as well, a lot of really great moments. Oh, dude. I just hope it just keeps getting better from Valencia and then Montreal and, of course, Global Finals.
It really definitely will. It always does. Can't wait as well for GSL versus the World.
Oh, yeah.
That's going to be awesome a little bit later this year. A lot of exciting StarCraft events to come.
Shanghai coming up as well. Good times.
Yep, not too long until Valencia as well. Getting back down to Spain, gonna spend some nice competition down there.
Down by the beach.
It's gonna be beautiful.
That's right.
Of course, what I'm wondering right now.
What you're wondering?
What I'm wondering as we go into Odyssey, does he go mech again? Is this the one style which Special is going to do every game? Or is he going to change it up? Is he just going to pull out a 2-1-1 and say, let me leverage those amazing mechanics I have from practicing over there in Korea for so long? What will he choose and how will the Zerg respond?
Oh, let's introduce him in the top left, playing an incredible game number 2 to tie things up 1 apiece. This is Bly. And in the bottom right, from Mexico, this is Special. The artist formerly known as Major. And he looks pretty, the sweat on his brow is not exhaustion. It is just because it's hot here in Sweden. But game 2 didn't seem to phase him as much. I mean, Bly's obviously, he was exhausted. He was just relieved, happy. He had probably 8 or 9 emotions at the same time as experience at once. And Special was like, yeah, I play those games all the time in Korea.
Yeah.
He probably has 5 or 6 of those TvZs a day when he does his practice. Just a casual 37-minute epic all the way to the end with, 20-odd Ravens lost. And
I may not be a master lip reader, Maynard, but I feel like Bly, when he was shaking his head and having a bit of a laugh and speaking to himself, there may have been something about Terran just don't die.
Yeah.
Mules, Ravens, Planetary Fortress. Expletive deleted.
I am a Terran player, but I have to admit, I said it in control as well, that when we're casting that TvT, that Terrans are hard to kill. Terrans are hard to kill, and that's the same for other Terrans as well. Even other Terrans find Terrans hard to kill. They are just they have the tools to be able to defend very, very strongly for the most part.
Oh yeah.
We see that Reaper expand again here from Special. Of course, we don't know if this is going to be 2-on-1 just yet, but it's generally going to be the Hellion follow-up. He's got that if it ain't broke, don't fix it kind of mindset. Special's definitely been one of those guys to just pick a build, be very, very happy with it, and confident in its ability to work for him, and just go with it.
And I feel like this map, it doesn't have as many ledges as Abyssal. It's a little bit harder for those swarm hosts to get in those annoying positions and throw those locusts in. So while they definitely can be used here, I can't imagine Bly having quite as much success with that style. Remember, last game was so bizarre because it felt like Special was in a great position. And then Bly was like, yeah, I'm not going to make upgrades. I'm just going to rush to the fastest possible hive and just get out Swarm Hosts, Vipers, and Hydras so early that you are not prepared. And he just managed to chip away at Special over and over again with those very fast tech units. And he added in the upgrades. He added in the Broodlords a lot later in the game. And it worked out very well. Here we go. Once again, another Zergling run by here. Good micro from Special. Hasn't lost an SDV just yet. That Reaper is going to clean it up. The reactor is getting a little bit dangerously low, but he should
be able to save it.
Yeah, I mean, as long as he gets repairing that, he should be okay. It's going to get on fire and start burning down. And that Zergling at the top, it wants to get a kill. Oh, this Zergling gets in the main as well. Special's mechanics being tested here.
Yeah, I mean, he needs to switch over the add-ons to get the job done. It looks like the natural will finally complete here, so even if the lane kills the SCV, its job has been done. But the Reaper decides he's going to keep it alive. Big Daddy Reaper's been very, very strong. He's like a shepherd with his flock of SCVs here, just trying to keep them all alive against the big bad wolf lings of Bly. And he keeps that natural alive, and we see that Special is once again going for Medivacs, going for the Hellions. And actually changing things up a little bit here. That's a Marine Pig, and he's got some Widow Mines being made as well.
Oh, interesting. Obviously wants to shoo away that Overlord because he does not want that to see the Widow Mines coming out and loading up into that Medevac. Going to be going for a Widow Mine drop. Bit of a surprise opening, one which can work out very well. I don't like this as an opening which Terrans do a lot, but mixing it in a best of 5 makes a lot of sense. It's something Zergs often aren't ready for. And there is already a Roach Warren down on Bly's side of the map, and he's on 30 drones, and Roach production is already starting. Now, in the past games, Bly has gone for these Roaches very early, but hasn't actually committed to a timing. I really would love to see him just going with a hard, fast, Ravager Zergling all-in push. I think this is something which is Bly's strength. I think it's something he hasn't done yet, and he definitely could potentially exploit a weakness in Special, especially since he's going for Raven, which is terrible against all-in attacks. It doesn't do anything. Yeah. Drops a little auto turret, which does just about nothing. The Overlord comes in, sees the fast third command center, does see the tech lab on the starport, And here we go, the Widowmine drop.
One getting dropped in here. Bly not going to take too much damage. Looks like the Queen's going to get a touch up, but she's still okay. Second Widowmine coming into the natural. This Queen trying to shoot down this medevac. A third Queen to help it out. The Bayern does burrow. Bly pulling his drones though. So he's just going to lose the one. Pretty good defense from Bly.
Yeah, just a nice little annoyance here from Special. Does force all those lost drones mining time though. And I mean, there's going to be a Ravager Ling attack, but it's not all in. He's trying to drone behind it, but he's so far down on workers. He's got to do a lot of damage with this. This is not something he can afford to just kill one or two things. That was Widow Mines, nothing to answer them in the main. Continuing to be annoying. Here we go, that attack. Oh, this Widow Mine!
That's going to get taken out.
Taken out. And here we go, Ravager Zergling going to launch its way in. Only a Raven and a handful of Hellions at home. He's trying to build Banshees and tanks, but they are not ready just yet. And here we go, Bly going to launch his way in. There is actually one siege tank already up in the back.
Oh, those piles! Great piles there. The bunker goes down, a bunch of SVs go down. The Hellions even get connected there, but the siege tank is really keeping Special alive here. The Biles nearly getting these supply depots, but not quite. And Special, with the Banshee coming out, should be able to deflect this.
Yeah, he's going to take out a couple more depots, but then he's going to have to run out of there as fast as possible. Otherwise, that Banshee is going to kill every single Ravager.
Or she could just chill there.
Ooh, auto turret harass actually going to be going down there. One Queen falls, another Queen is going to go down as well. Special starting to massacre the workers here. A lot of STVs actually fell to those Ravagers. I don't think Special was watching at home. And those Ravagers, the Banshee wasn't actually auto-attacking them, and they kind of held position and were using Corrosive Pile over the ledge. So 7 STVs did end up going down. A little bit more damage than Special really should have taken, yet nonetheless, only down a few workers. He's got so much going so well for him right now with the third command center. Actually, where is that third command center? Did he cancel? Oh no, it's landed.
Yeah.
Okay, I'm blind.
Easy target. It's been a long day, don't worry about it. We have 1-1 on the way here for Bio. We're going to see some Marines come out as Special here, so a little bit different.
Good choice. I mean, realistically, you look at how that last game went, you got to say as Special, if he thinks, I am such a mechanical player, I'm a player who loves to push my opponent around, why not have the composition, which is going to force my opponent to play just as fast as I am if they want to have any chance of winning. Don't slow the game down, speed it up, and use your mechanics and leverage them to win. This is really Special style. He loves his multi-prong, loves his multitasking, so this is a great way for him to open up.
Yeah, he's been training in Korea for quite a while as well. The base trade TV house with Scarlet, no regret, etc., etc. This fourth hatchery at the gold, very, very important for Zerg. This Banshee's wailing away on it though. If that fourth finishes, she's going to be very, very low in hit points. These Queens can't really do anything about it. The creep spread's not good enough.
Yeah, that hatchery is getting very low right now. Those Queens going to start to work their way up. Finally, we'll be taking that Banshee out. We are going to be seeing, once again, Roach Speed and a fast infestation pit. Well, I should realize at this point he's up against Mech, against Bio, not Mech. And I've got to imagine upgrades become exceptionally important in this situation, much more so than against Mech, but no Evo chambers have gone down just yet, so not really sure what Bly's plan is going to be here.
Yeah, maybe he hasn't put 2 and 2 together yet. It would be surprising though, this Raven with enough energy for an auto turret drops it down here. Roach will clean it up, but target firing on those drones is Special.
Double Evo chamber is now started. Special with such a big worker lead though, and once again, focus firing that auto turret on a drone there, forcing more lost mining time, being a real nuisance. Bly down at 51 workers and doesn't even have an army advantage. The gold base is going to go down. A great Marine tank push on the south side of the map. Fantastic play from Special, just bullying his opponent, leveraging his skill, his multi-prong, and the crispness of those openings so far.
Well, Link's getting into that natural. There's not too many of them, and the tanks were sieged, but they are going to get an SCV kill here, or maybe a couple. Not too effective. Just getting the one SCV, no big deal there. Special does live to fight another day. He's got plenty of workers. In fact, he's 68 SCVs, just the 55 drones of the Zerg. Not a position want to be in as the Zerg. His economy's pretty atrocious right now. But, you know, his army's not too bad, though.
Fungal. Fungal is what it's all about.
Yep.
That is what this game is going to come down to, Maynard. It is about burrowed infestors trying to land Fungal on this Terran army. And hopefully he can take out those Ravens before it comes to that stage, because if they get spotted, he's going to be in big trouble. And already I think the scan did catch the edge of those infestors. So I imagine Special's going to be very careful when it comes time to move out. He's got that massive economy advantage. He's got a big upgrade advantage. and just generally more production up at home. Bly is going to have a real one-punch army. It's going to be very reliant on those Fungals getting sick hits.
Too many melee upgrades, actually, so he's starting to transition in Lings and away from Roaches here as the Hive comes up. Looks like his end goal is those Ultralisks. Oh, getting that Raven. Nice little pick off there. Oh, Medevac getting picked off with a Spore, and just a few Marines here. The Queen should be able to deal with it, but hold that thought. Those tanks, I'm not sure what that Fungal's going to do. They are already stationary.
3 Infestors go down there. I mean, he's building so many Infestors, but I don't know. 2 more Infestors on the way, 4 out, but he's already lost 3. Spending so much gas on this, and that's gas which will not be able to spend on Ultralisks. Ultralisks still so far away in this game. Special just doing a textbook Marine bio tank push here. Marine Medevac tank, nice spread, no opportunity for the Fungals to land on clumped up bio. Okay, a decent one does land, but in return, the Siege tanks shell down all the Ravagers and Infestors. This 4th base is out in the open. It is exposed right now. Bly is in a lot of trouble. He can't afford to lose another base. He's going to try and push on top of these Siege tanks. He jumps out there. All of these Infestors and Ravagers going down, though. Just a couple of Siege tanks still left alive at the end of this. The friendly fire on that infested Terran going to actually take down the Siege tanks, but Special already has another army on the left-hand side.
Hitting from the south as well with a big force here. Accidentally rallying some of those units into the Medevac, but the damage has been done. He's killed that hatchery, and the other hatchery to the north that could actually be taken out by these Siege tanks if he wanted to. Bly's army's been pulled out of position.
Hitting from the north, hitting from the south, the east, and the west. Special is all over the place right now, and everything is starting to go down. Bly down about 80 supply. Far down in the economy, and it looks like Special is going to take a very convincing Game 3 victory, taking it up to a 2-1 lead. Now only 1 game away from closing out this set and going through to the round of 8.
Looks like Special was done mucking about there. He went for a very, very, very strong bio timing there. Hit in 2 places at once. Like you said, using those mechanics that he has such a huge strength in to be able to multitask and do the damage, to be able to just sever Bly's head from his spinal cord in that 3rd game.
Fantastic play there from Special. And I mean, that attack, that Ravager-ling from Bly, just did not do a lot. Special was playing so safe there. He was so on point throughout that. And we got a tweet on the bottom of the page there. I didn't expect much from myself. Maybe that's the reason I had a good run, said Bly. Interesting. I wonder when he said that, maybe last night. But I mean, he's still in the tournament. He's still doing well. And Special, of course, said, when I play my best, I look like I am completely outplaying my opponent.
There we go.
That is just so cool to see the players starting to bring out a bit more confidence here this tournament. Hopefully delivered with a little bit more attitude, as Roddy was asking for earlier. Maybe a little bit more drama coming out of these players, but for now, Special is just letting his gameplay do all the talking for him.
That's right. And we're going to go straight into Game 4 pretty shortly here. Which joining the lobby is going to be on Proxima Station. Talk to us about TvZ on this map, Pig. How's it be looking these days?
You know, you've got the 360-degree angle on pretty much every base with all of that dead space surrounding every single one, so very likely we'll see more Raven harass, but Banshees, Liberators, and just general drop play, which is obviously a core of any Terran play, all are very strong here. Definitely something Zergs can struggle on a lot because of that, even though there's only 1 frontal path to enter. I would have to say I'd expect bio play here from Special, simply because mech play, there aren't enough Hellion run by paths. So even though we see it from time to time, definitely a much more bio-centric map, and one which I think it's going to be very interesting to see how it plays up in this matchup, because you've got such an aggressive Zerg as Bly, and normally a Terran would play greedier than normal on this map. So a very common meta you see on these bases where you've got the protected in-base natural is one player just goes super all in to try and take advantage of the other player's greed. But really, is Special going to play very greedy when he knows he's playing against Bly? Very likely he'll be a bit more conservative, scout very well, and just play a very well-rounded and solid style. I wouldn't be surprised if he played the almost exact same opening as that last game.
Yeah, not at all. He's, in fact, found himself on match point here, so this could potentially be the last map of the series. That said, though, if Bly wants to bring out one of those extremely good performances like he did on Abyssal Reef, we could be going to Game 5. And I'm sure that's what all the fans want here. It's been a long day, but it's okay if it goes longer if it means we get StarCraft.
Good action-packed games is what we're all wishing for as we launch into the potentially final map number 4.
Easy, Pig. And the top right here from Team Expert, this is Bly. Team Expert are a pretty good team. Just casually has Bjorn and Scarlet on it. No big deal.
Yeah, nice couple of players they decided to pick up there.
And in the bottom left, on match point, this is Special. And what a special guy he is. Looking very, very crisp in his games so far. Even the game he lost, he like had a 60 or 70 army supply deficient that he somehow managed to turn into a game.
Yeah. I mean, I kept expecting that game to be over for so long, and the Seeker missiles, man.
Ravager Rush Pig.
Ooh,
oh, baby.
Classic one base Ravager all in here. If Special doesn't SCV scout, he could be in big trouble. You need to get up a fast couple of bunkers, lots of marine production. Preferably you skip the reactor and straight into siege tanks. That is how you hang on against this. This is completely all in. But it looks like no SCV scout so far. So unless this SCV moves out when that barracks finishes, that is the question. You know, Special might do that, but it's very rare for Terran players to scout on this map because players do not go pool first. Why? Because there's no way to sneak into the Terran base. There's only this narrow ramp. Because of that dynamic, Terrans often don't scout. But you know what? When you're playing Bly, you damn well better scout. Always. Right. And that's just a good move there from Special. Look, these Zerglings actually going to dodge the SCV. Look at that.
Yeah,
Bly knows his timings. Wow.
Well done by Bly there, avoiding the SCV vision there. And he actually, you know, if Special sees those first two lings, he's like, okay, I know what this is.
Yeah.
Because those lings are there to be able to chip away. If there's a low ground expand at the front or anything like that, I mean, this map, you're not going to generally do that. It goes to the back. But it's going to be all up on a Special to identify what he's up against.
He even dodged the Reaper as well.
Oh, cancels the reactor. And I think with these two lings coming up, he's going to be like, okay, I gotta get a bunker up. I gotta get a Cyclone up. There's that bunker immediately here from Special.
Yeah. Ooh, he's blocking the barracks from landing with the Zerglings. Very cute play there from Bly. He wants to delay that marine production. Finally, the first marine starts up. That factory, of course, is well underway. Special, it's a race against time here. He's got to get that wall up. He's got to get his defenses going. He's going to finish walling off with the depot, and he's going to need to build an... Oh, no, he's not finishing walling off. Okay.
What? This could be a huge mistake here. We'll see from Special. The extra supply depot is being made somewhere else.
Yeah, I mean, it's going to be more protected in the back, but this will allow Ravagers to run by if they choose to. And since there's only a single Marine out, it could be very dangerous. But actually, Bly here just going full YOLO. He's taking a lot of damage on these Ravagers. I don't know if this is the right call. One of those Ravagers is going to go down. The SCVs didn't have the surface area to repair, though.
Oh,
Bly,
wow.
so decisive, just jumps on top. And he is just taking advantage of Special here, not being ready with that bunker. Masterful Zergling timing and just being so decisive. And there we go, the SCVs going for this round. They are going to get one Ravager down, but that's about it. I mean, the Cyclone, it's finally about out. I mean, Special can still potentially hold on.
And the recall and workers.
Oh, he's going to lose another Ravager.
Oh, this repair on the Cyclone. This one Cyclone could be the lifeline here for Special. It's not over yet. The Terran is still alive. Bly with a very hurt Ravager, one of them full hit points. He's starting to shell away with these corrosive piles, but the Cyclone is his lifeline. He's got a second one on the way here. Another Ravager pick off there.
Bly can't keep losing these Ravagers. I mean, this is a game-losing position for Special if he can't get up enough Cyclones. But if you keep bleeding out Ravagers, you're not going to hit the critical mass where you can one or two shot them. And that is what he needs to hit right now. Bly needs to keep pulling these weak Ravagers to the back. If he can't do that, then he will get overwhelmed. And an amazing surround there on those SCVs. Almost gets those two Ravagers. And
kill it. There we go. Takes off that last Ravager, and Bly gets knocked back here. He's still rallying units. This is extremely all-in, guys. There's no second plan. There is no plan B here for Bly. And Special trying to get rid of one of these Overlords. He can potentially get one, and it actually will supply block Bly as well if he does. No more Ravagers being able to morph now, and it's just going to be up to whatever Bly has on the field to get done here until this Overlord gets morphed.
Bly constantly dancing with death with the way he's microing these Ravagers. He's lost that Overlord, and now he's supply blocked, waiting for two more Overlords to finish. That's stopping him from morphing more Ravagers. There we go, though. He's back up at 5 Ravagers, but there's 3 Cyclones out. They are heavily wounded, though. And nice focus fire from Bly. One Cyclone is going to go down. He's biling the barracks. The barracks is gone. It's just Ravagers versus that single Cyclone now. Single Cyclone does force them out of the base for this moment. But Bly, he's starting to rally more and more Roaches across this map. It is still so close. Special, he only has a single production facility. This is it right here.
The boys, they're coming off the line. They need to help out here. Special just with 10 SCVs left. Bile coming down. He's shaving off more and more SCVs. Very, very hurt. Roaches being turned into Ravagers here. And does Bly have enough? This is still so close. This one Cyclone nearly getting that hurt Ravager. Not quite though. The Cyclone, it goes down. GG. Bly's going to take it to game 5.
Incredible play there from Bly. I could not believe he committed with those 2 Ravagers, but he identified that there wasn't enough surface area to repair. He knew that he was able to take that down. And despite it looking a bit scary for a moment after delaying the barracks landing with his Zerglings, after delaying the bunker and killing an SCV with those Lings, he knew the Marine count was low. And with Major skipping that second depot, he allowed those Ravagers to just run straight on in there and blast that bunker to pieces.
What a crazy, hectic game 4 there. And we're going to go all the way to the ace match here. God, who takes it, Pig?
It's going to be very close. Special's got to be a little bit frustrated with how that one went. He did SCV scout, despite it being very rare to do so on that map, and still was not quite able to piece together the defenses that he needed. The final map is going to be a wild one as well. Guys, it is going to be Sequencer. It is such a long map. This is going to be absolutely bizarre. How do these players choose to play here? Terran players generally find this map very frustrating because it takes them so long to pressure the Zerg, but at the same time, there are ledges everywhere. There's so many cool areas for 3-Rax Reaper to happen, so many cool areas for you to jump up and down, use elevators, siege tank pushes. The question is, has Special been practicing his 3-Rax Reaper? Has he been practicing a lot on this map? Because it's not every day that it goes down to this one.
He's got a pretty big pinata of tricks here, does Special. It's, I think 3-Rax Reaper is potentially on the menu here. I know it's more of a U-thermal build, but Special does have incredible micro for the most part. He's been very, very good with his army control. His mechanics, again, we brought it up a few times. Pretty spectacular, so it wouldn't be a surprise in the slightest. It's a pretty good build for a sequencer, I gotta say. Like, there's a lot of area to abuse. The main's very sort of abusable as well. There's a spot between the natural and the third, like I guess, you know, the third with more minerals in sequencer, where you can sort of jump up between the natural mineral line and down at that third base location as well to keep the Reapers alive. It's a strong choice, but we'll see what Special chooses to do. Both players are just consolidating themselves and just feeling and looking very exhausted here coming into game 5. They're just, this is like going all the way to the final round in a match, man.
Definitely gets down to endurance at this point. This is the, you know, it's crazy because this is not the DreamHack experience I remember. Back in my day, if you weren't playing until 3 a.m., then it wasn't the real DreamHack experience. But here we are. Oh, it's only just past 9 p.m., and things are already getting wild, down and dirty, and crazy with so many Seeker missiles and parasitic bombs landing on everything.
Yeah, and that's, I mean, just to be on like the other end of the spectrum, that game was so one-sided for Special. And the games that Bly have won have been very close. And the games that Special have won have been not so close.
Absolutely not. But I mean, that puts the pressure on the Terran, right? He's the favorite, definitely. But it's coming down to 2-2.
Yeah.
It's so close.
A lot of the guys, will be honest with you, we were in the green room going, well, it's going to be a nice quick 3-0. We honestly thought that Major would crush Bly in this series, but he's turning heads here. Happens a lot of these WCS finals for some reason. It's just upsets all over the place. Semper getting top of his group. What? Making it to the round of 16.
Taking out Nurture on the way as well was a massive one. And we've seen
Cham smashing Snoot. Well, not smashing Snoot. That was an incredibly close series.
But TLO earlier in the group
Petite
stage
Drogo 3-0ing Nurture. What?
So many upsets. So many surprises, as well as some of the regular culprits going through 3-0 without breaking a sweat. Cough Cyril. You know, he's starting to really make a name for himself as a monster. But we are going to be going into that final map very soon. And, you know, back on Sequencer, back on this final mech. This final mech.
You guys, foreboding. Let's call that a Freudian slip.
You can tell what I was about to say. I really do think as well. I mean, Hellions have so many angles to come across. Special has shown he loves mech. He likes going for these build orders. Wouldn't mind seeing that here on Sequencer either. But if we see that, we may see another 45, 50-minute game.
Potentially, yeah.
It could be a messy end to the night, which could be a lot of fun to watch. So I'm hoping we do get to see something like that here. Of course, guys, tweet out #WCS. Let us know how you're enjoying the event and exactly what's going on. Maybe have your tweet featured on that little scrolling bar on the bottom there if you've got something awesome to say. And it is going to be a really fun time. Tomorrow, we have another action-packed day of StarCraft. It's going to be so cool.
That's
playing
right.
out the round of 8, the semis, and the finals all in one day of StarCraft to wind up this tournament. And of course, that's what these guys are playing for. They're both one map away from qualifying through to that top 8.
All the way to Game 5. Who would have thought Bly and Major Special, as he's known these days. And guys, if you're enjoying watching StarCraft and you don't own the game already, I'm not going to say shame on you, even though part of me wants to. Just get it for half price. It's on sale right now, 50% off. Go get it. Treat yourself.
And you can even download the Starter Edition for free. And
That's right. You can play
a whole-
customs and arcade on Starter Edition. Get a couple of your mates in those customs games.
I believe you can even play co-op with the basic commander or the basic.
And
commander,
there's also the spawning pool upgrade. You know, if you play with someone in your party that has Legacy of the Void, can get all those features. And the top right here, clinching it out with a Ravager all-in. Will he be able to win game number 5? This is Bly.
Game number 5.
And then he's actually setting a drone immediately out here. This is looking a little bit cheeky for Bly. And in the bottom left, this is Special. Oh, it is. It's a proxy hatchery pig.
This is what we've been wanting. Oh my god, I've been waiting for this. And it's not only a proxy hatchery, that is a 14 supply proxy hatchery. And I think we might see a gas go down very soon as well. Is this... I'm not sure what this is. I just know it's crazy, it's cool, and he's going to have to do a hell of a lot of damage with it. He's going to start taking gas behind that. I imagine we might see a single spine crawler and a queen spread creep up towards the main ramp and basically try to break the ramp with a spine crawler and a queen and then flood speedlings in. This is a classic sort of Bly build. We've seen him beat amazing Terran players on maps like Dasan's Station in the past with it. You know, a couple of these crazy rush maps, but then to pull it out on such a long map and on a map where Special has not scouted yet. He has not gone out.
No, he's dropping a low ground CC.
Oh, he's not going to see it until his Reaper goes to check. And guess what? A Roach Warren is going down.
Oh, man.
This
Bly.
is the exact same build that he did in the last map, except off a proxy hatchery. To negate the rush distance on this huge map, he says, I'll just build my roaches on your side of the map. And what a fantastic way to go about it. This is such a powerful all-in build. And Special, oh, I mean, this is going to be heartbreaking if he doesn't manage to hold on.
He is going to scout it, but even then, it's still hard to hold here. And this is what I'm talking about. Coach Maynard here for Bly. Get crazy, get weird. This is how you beat a player like Special.
And he still has no idea what sort of proxy hatchery this is. He doesn't know if it's a spine crawler and speedlings. He doesn't know it's Ravagers. So he's building a bunker on the low ground. You're going to need another one on the high ground and preferably siege tanks to hold on. I really do think siege tanks are the 100% surefire way to stop this. Of course, cyclones can do well as well. Either way, he needs to start building stuff right now. He's got that reactor almost finished, which is going to open up double marine production. And there we go. The tech lab's going down in the factory. A fantastic read from Special. Seeing those 3 eggs, he knew what was going to pop out of them. It is indeed roaches and Ravagers. And this time, the bunker is going to finish. The Reaper's going to get inside. Oh, this command center. Is that going to get slowed down? Yes, I think it is. The other SCV tries to finish it. Doesn't manage.
Oh!
Oh!
That's 99.9% complete here, and the Roaches denying this low ground expand. For now, the SCV's coming off the line. They can just sacrifice themselves one at a time to finish that CC. There it goes. It is finished. He can lift that now if he chooses. There's those 3 Ravagers being morphed outside of bunker range. But like you said, Pig, the siege tank is the answer here, and it is on the way for Special.
He's going to try and use this Reaper Bomb, so when there's Ravagers coming to Bile, he wants to bounce them around, preferably into that Marine bunker range. Great micro from Special so far. 4 Marines in that bunker. A Siege Tank is almost out. Remember, guys, he's got that second command center. And there we go. Nice Reaper Bomb, as I mentioned. But, oh, the focus fire is good. And he's going to take out so many of those Marines. He didn't have a backup bunker. The first Siege Tank is out. Oh, and he's more in a very good position. Reactor's going to go down, but a couple of Ravagers will die in return for that.
Wow, that's actually very nice siege tank shells there from Special. The Reactor in trouble. The SCV is getting pulled off the line. They need to try and stop this flow of Zerg units, but it looks like it's just too much. The supply depot and the Reactor go down, so the front door is open. But Bly doesn't want to be too inefficient here and lose all of his units to that siege tank.
Bunker is going to need to go down in the near future if he wants to hang on against the following waves of this, I believe. And Wow, Bly's actually droning up behind this. He's up to 24 drones. He's not going all in. It's just a pressure. And he's actually going to force this orbital to cancel over here. Special, you need to cancel that orbital right now. One more wave of Biles is going to take it out. Guys, it's almost going down. Barely gets that out of there.
Wow, that's so close. Losing that CC would have been critical game-ending damage there for Special. The siege tank's doing a lot of damage here from the high ground. Some corrosive piles going down in the factory, but I think that's kind of the extent of the damage that these Ravagers can do here. Like, just maybe get a tech lab and that's it. There's just a lot here, battening down the hatches here on the main of Special. In fact, he's taking this very, very seriously. He is going to get that bunker in the main, but he can, of course, salvage that if need be.
He really needs to repair that command center. It's burning down, and that's going to cost him quite a few minerals to repair on up. Special has been knocked back into his tight corner of the map. Meanwhile, Bly, retaking his natural expansion, he still has a very hefty force of Ravagers out, and that's going to be very scary. And interestingly, Special has actually opted to go for a medevac, not a Banshee here. Normally, you want to get a medevac out, Banshee, sorry, as quickly as possible so you can just chase these Ravagers away. But without that, it's going to be so scary for him to take that expansion. So you see now he's going to swap those around. But really, I worry for Special taking so long to resecure this natural. He's playing very carefully, but he can't be too careful. He's spotted the expansion of Bly. He knows that Bly is macroing out of this.
Yeah, and Bly's actually getting Evo Chamber as well back home with Lair on the way. Drones pulling away from that proxy hatchery. They're going down to the more sensible hatchery location. And he's just going to give up this hatchery for now, I suppose.
Ravager morphing there on the defense, as well as the Queen will be able to chase away that Reaper. Might be able to even shut it down. Special going to get very hungry with that. Wants to snipe a drone or two. Will not be able to get it just yet. And interestingly, a Raven on the way. So Special here preparing for what he thinks will be a lot of creep spread from that third proxy hatch. But Bly hasn't really focused on that so far.
He's all but given it up. He's pulled the drones back. There's a Queen just down there, but that's really not being used at all. Some Marines with the medevac support coming in here for Special to get some damage done. He's getting a Roach. Actually, that Roach turns into a Ravager egg. No, he does get killed in the end. And 4 drones go down there. So shaving into that work account. Meanwhile, Special, he has 2 CCs. He has that second orbital, so he is pumping out a lot of SCVs now. And he's up to 33 versus the 26 of Zerg.
You know, this is the advantage of playing on the Korean ladder. If you play on that ladder, you've played against this build from Bly before, and you can see the experience from Special showing through. Not only did he take the push so seriously, he's got the Raven ready to clear up the creep from the proxy hatch. He's taking a very long time to retake his expansion, and he knows he can do this pressure with this medevac, and there's no risk of it getting shot down because there just aren't many Queens for Bly, and there's nothing but Roaches and Ravagers. This is such a good counter pressure from Special, and as he retakes his natural expansion, takes his third base, he's just going to blast his way towards that mid-game, even adding a safety Banshee in. I just love this play. Special looking so confident here.
He's getting Bly is getting an infestation pit really quickly here for, I guess, tier 3 really, really fast. It's pretty interesting. He's actually going to go infest this right away. Burrow getting researched as well. It's a small little force of Special's units going to try and get rid of this proxy hatchery. The drones that have been making there at that proxy hatchery from Bly, trying to save themselves from terror and slaughter. So far, so good. A big force of Bly actually heading across the map to see what they can get done.
That drop just continuing to be annoying, picking off more and more workers. Special has actually got his third orbital on the way right now, guys, and he's at 40 drones versus 35. That is a very nice advantage, and this drop continuing to be annoying. Banshee now out on the map. That hatchery, of course, has been steadily getting cleaned up by Special. And Bly just not finding a strong enough transition out of this. He went for things like Lair and +1 carapace, but he's just not able to shut this drop down, and Special being so irritating. And look at that, 5 siege tanks? Wow.
Goodbye, hatchery. And the medevac actually will be finally taken out by these Queens, and the Marines will as well, but not before a whole bunch of drone kills gone down, and also supply block here for Bly as well. He has to make an Overlord right now. 2 Overlords being made just to deal with that cap. Losing the hatchery, of course, cuts into his supply count as well. So he's going to be blocked for a little bit here as these Overlords come out. Meanwhile, the bench doing more econ damage. The skyrocketing econ, well, and it's not really skyrocketing, but incredibly advantageous econ here for Special as his third CC is done and landed as well.
Textbook play from Special here. I was worried about his initial hold. I was like, hey, is he being too afraid to retake his expansion? No, he knew exactly what he was doing. He shut this down despite scouting it very late. Special with a spectacular defense. His siege tank earlier on came out just in time. and he was managing to hold on against the all-in attack of Bly. Even though Bly transitioned, look at this, Infestors and Ravagers, yeah, sure, these are great units, but 35 drones, only not even a 2-base economy here. Yeah, you've got 3 hatcheries, but you're going for Hive off 35 drones. I don't know what Bly's plan is. Might be rushing Broodlords off a tiny economy, but how is he possibly going to stop this push? He will need the Fungals of a lifetime, and with that scan revealing his entire army, there is no way that Special is going to let him clump up and fungal that army.
That is true. So the Marines don't actually have, I don't think they have stem or combat shield. Combat shield just being researched now for, no, he does have stem. Excuse me, that's actually a huge upgrade here for Special.
Oh,
a bunch of auto turrets
wow.
going down. 2 of the Ravagers getting taken out immediately.
So many Ravagers falling. That Siege Tank already doing so much damage as well. This Infestor on the left-hand side surviving. The Raven actually cops a couple of few corrosive biles and does go down. But Special here, I mean, he hasn't even been engaging with the Siege Tanks. When he uses those as well, there is just no way Bly can hang on against that force.
Nice fungal and bile there. Gets some medevac and what's left of the Marines here, but there's a reinforcement wave of Marines with these medevacs. So Infestor comes down here on the low ground. But a scan from Special. He sees the Infestor moving, wiggling and shaking under the ground, and scans takes it out. Nice pick off there for Special, and Bly, he's against the ropes here, Pig. He's in a lot of trouble.
Special here has just shown his class so far this tournament. He has been working his way through in commanding fashion. And even though he let Bly grab a couple of sneaky maps off him, it's not going to be the case this time around. He is so far ahead. He blocked the pressure, the all-in attack so well. His counter pressure was flawless. His expansion timing was flawless. And now he's got up an unstoppable Marine tank push. And he is just going to end Bly, forcing his way through. Bly's lost the 3rd base. His Ravagers are cornered. The Stim Bio is rallying across this map relentlessly. And I think it's all she wrote for Bly. 2-base Ultralisk and a single Swarm Host. What a sorry production tab that is. Unfortunately, not going to be enough to bring it back for Bly.
He's doing whatever he can, what he has. A valiant effort. This is his tournament life on the line, but unfortunately, Bly's tournament life is about to end here. A scan, and down go those Ravagers. And that is the army of Bly for the most part here, and Major Special, just a giant blue line of reinforcements heading across the map into Bly's face, of which he is about to punch a giant hole through as he goes into the round of 8 for tomorrow's games.
And he is the favorite, of course, here, Special. He made it to the top 4 over at WCS Austin earlier this year. He is climbing up those WCS rankings. He is so high. He wants to secure that spot for BlizzCon. And he is making his way ever closer to it as he destroys Bly's natural and seals his game. Takes the victory 3-2. Special will be going through to that round of 8.
Brilliant game from him. Such a strong and weird opening for Bly, but Special reacting perfectly. Beautiful job from him, and the follow-up way too strong, way too much for Bly to handle, and he does go down.
Of course, a hard loss there for Bly. He fought very well. He brought out a few very different and creative builds, but Special was just solid as a rock. Such a hard Terran to face right now. Let's hear from the man himself over there with Smix.
Thank you very much, guys. Major, first of all, congratulations. With this win, you are moving on to the round of 8, but there's a lot to talk about with this series. Before the series, I talked to you a little bit, and you said you felt it might be a 3-0 or 3-1, but it was actually a lot more difficult than that. So what are your initial thoughts?
Well, the games I lost, the first one, that was the long game, I was really behind the whole game, so it was very hard to come back. I almost did it, but I don't know. Sometimes playing mech vs people that play different is not that good of an idea. And the game 2 that I lost, I should have never lost. But then what happened was I had a Reaper, and I forgot about it, so I didn't put it in the bunker. So if it's in the bunker, he can't do anything. It's like, because he wouldn't be able to break it with the Ravagers. There was only 1 Marine, and then the Cyclone comes in. It's a free win. But I don't know. I feel like that moment was very, very crucial. It made me a little bit more nervous for game 5, but I kind of knew he was going to do this, so I just scout with my Reaper around, and I know how to defend. I'm very good at defending this stuff normally, but that second game, the second game that I lost was very sad.
You briefly mentioned it yourself with mech, and you're one of the few Terran players that does like to do mech or bio, depending on the situation. Talk to us a little bit about what makes you decide to go mech one map or bio another map. What are the strengths of that?
The strength is that Cirque, for some reason, they don't always play over speed, so they don't always know what you're doing. So there's many openings that you can do that is make or bio they look exactly the same. So and Cirques don't want to open Roach because it's really bad against bio. So and if they open links and you're going mech, you have a very good advantage. So that's why I think playing both against people that don't scout too much is good.
Well, at this event, you already took down 3 Zerg players. Your next opponent is going to be a very strong Protoss player. In fact, this is going to be a rematch of the WCS Austin semifinals where you very narrowly lost 2-3. So are you looking to take a revenge here?
He's very good. I've been practicing a lot for Protoss with my friends, and they give me a lot of tips. They all say Protoss is very strong and very imba, but I don't know. I feel I have a good chance if with the preparation I have for this. I think I can do well. And also, one of my earliest mistakes that I did was I should have, and it's all on me. I shouldn't have looked down too much on Black because I wasn't really looking forward to play against Nib. And it's a mistake that I will never do again. That almost cost me like my tournament.
Well, best of luck tomorrow against Nib, and congratulations again on moving on to the quarterfinals. And with that, Major will be our last player moving on to the round of 8.
The match got a little bit dicey towards the end, but Major, aka Special, bringing out some good build variety. Of course, we had that crazy long mech game on Abyssal Reef, but bringing out the men with the guns to bring that series back close and dealing with the cheese. Those Ravager rushes, God, I hate running into those on ladder. The Muslim, I'm sure you've faced this a bajillion times yourself.
Yeah, I have, but I'm always almost overly cautious, and I keep my SCVs around the bunker.
Yeah.
I don't play with fire just like Major did and run them away. But one very poignant thing that Major said just then was that he'll never look down on an opponent and again, kind of look ahead, look forward. And I think that was very humble of him, actually, and shows a lot of respect to Bly.
Yeah, I thought it was beautiful as well. You don't hear that very often. Somebody often says they're confident or not confident, but he just admits that. He's like, I was already thinking about my builds against Neep, and he's like,
I'll never do that again.
I should never look past an opponent, especially not somebody like Bly. It was a fun series. I mean, I think it was more than a lot of us expected from it.
Yes.
But one thing, I still think when I see Bly play like this, and I see, yes, of course he was ahead on Abyssal, but he still went up at a certain point against an almost maxed out Special with a bunch of Ravens. That's never easy, and it looks like Bly can look really good in the later stages of the game. Don't get me wrong, I love that he has a distinctive, unique playstyle. Never change that. Obviously, you know, throw in those crazy builds, but every now and then some normal Bly, because he's actually capable of it. And Bly is really good, I think, in straight up stuff as well. And I think if he would find a perfect balance between the aggressive cheeses and just maybe some greed macro play, then I think that Bly can elevate his play to the next level.
I think it was really cool. I liked personally seeing the build diversity in terms of the bio versus mech. We were kind of chatting about this a little bit. I more like the factory-based mech with big timing pushes and whatnot, but when you get into the Raven madness...
Do you like to talk about it as well?
Yeah. Oh, I love to talk about it.
Did we mention... the announcement pack, Nate?
Did we mention the bracket has been updated for all the matches played today? The round of 16 is officially over. And, well, you can announce this, Roddy. Look at that beautiful diversity, but special. Bringing up another Mexican player forward.
For the second time in a row, Mexico is the most well-represented nation in the quarterfinals of a WCS event. If you would have said this last year or 2 years or 3 or 4 years ago, everybody would have laughed at you, and this is awesome.
Not just that, though. If I listened to any of the pro gamers that came here, I would not have expected it being 3 Zergs, 3 Terrans, and 2 Protosses. Like, you don't really get much more balance than that when it comes to a top 8 finish.
Balance.
I mean, I think Nate said it as well. Like, obviously, a couple of the Zergs did knock out each other because Scarlet could have easily been there. Snoot could have easily been there. But yeah, I mean, sort of lost, and you know, saw Bly lose as well. We saw Nurcho lose, so
yeah.
you know, like I'm not hating on the Zergs at all. I definitely love some Swarm every now and then, but I'm happy that it's 3 and not 6 or 7.
As lopsided as the bracket was on the top side for Zergs, there definitely was a chance for them to overrun that bottom side as well. But something for everybody tomorrow as we get to the top 8 and the grand finals tomorrow. We will crown the champion for the second WCS Circuit event. This has been WCS Jönköping Day 2. We will see you guys tomorrow for the grand finals. Thank you very much for tuning in and have a great night.